Jess joined Movable Inc. in October 2021 and has over 9 years of email hands-on Movable Inc. experience while working in her last role. Her professional background includes travel and hospitality, real estate, and event marketing. Kelly is a San Francisco-based marketing manager with experience working in high-growth startups in the on-demand space, Postmates, Uber, and Instacart. Oh, I think I know those names. At Instacart, she manages the membership lifecycle program. Can we please give a warm welcome to Kelly and Jess?
All right, well, thank you everyone and welcome. Excited to see some familiar faces and some new faces. As Mira mentioned, Kelly's the engagement marketing manager on the Instacart team. She's been in the space for over 5 years and really focused on lifecycle marketing, so everything from retention to acquisition and everything in between. And if anybody Instacart Plus members, okay, a few of you. Hopefully we can convince you at the end of the day. If you don't know who Instacart is, they're an on-demand delivery platform that operates a grocery delivery and pickup service across the country. So Kelly and I, it's kind of our 1-year anniversary, and we didn't plan to wear black and match with the shoes and everything, but here we are. If that's anything to our partnership, that's kind of how we think together, and that's how we work together. We're very on the same page. So it's really cool to kind of come a year later and now be on stage at Think Summit and kind of share our story with everyone in the room. But I will say the Instacart team is super gritty and wants to test and wants to try new things. And talking through what we wanted to speak on today, it was really let's just lay everything on the line, the good and the bad, kind of jump into what worked, what didn't work. But Kelly, in your own words, how did you, what makes Instacart super unique and what am I trying to say? Can you give us a little bit more about, how you guys stay top of line in the space?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for that amazing introduction, Jess. And what a great question to kick us off here. Just right into it, right now, there's a ton of competitors in this market. And, Instacart is placing a huge bet on marketing to drive consistent growth and maintain market share. And actually last year we went through a complete rebrand back in 2022 where we launched a new logo, we created a visual identity, and ultimately we established a brand purpose for Instacart, which is really rooted in our framework of shop and savor. And what does that mean for us? That means we as Instacart, we aim to power the way everyday folks shop so that they can savor and enjoy all the other moments in life. And this framework is really at the core of everything that we do. And this is really how we aim to differentiate ourselves from our competitors by consistently giving our customers delightful, craveable, enjoyable moments whenever they're interacting with Instacart, whether that's through a marketing email or in product or even advertisement placements. We aim to give that consistent, strong experience.
I love that. And you mentioned just a year ago, really, you rebranded everything. So all your emails got flipped upside down. Can you share a little bit about how Movable Inc. fit into your brand guidelines?
Yeah, definitely. So at the start of our partnership and Instacart's rebrand happening around the same time, it was a huge production and efficiency win for us since we were able to start using our new assets and our new custom font right away without having to update any of our hard-coded email templates. And not only was this a huge operational win for us, but also, it gave us the ability to test new innovative content and really explore the way we want to start showcasing our new brand identity across CRM. And I definitely have to say, on that note of innovative content, personalization has been such a huge focus for us at Instacart. Our app is constantly being more personalized and tailored to every user, and us on the marketing side, we definitely want to emulate this as well, since we know that personalization drives strong engagement, and nowadays it's definitely expected by our customers. So this is definitely where Movable Inc. came in and helped us unlock all of that innovative content, but still giving us, that full creative flexibility and operational wins as well.
I love that. And let's be a little transparent with the audience in the room and kind of jump into some of those first use cases. to say, buying internal buy-in right in the beginning and getting teams on board can be really tricky. Everyone wants to try all the apps that Movable Inc. has to offer, the first weekend. So can you share a little bit about like that first year journey and how you kind of worked with the team to get buy-in?
Yeah, definitely. So when we first started our partnership, we really started with low-lift tests that we could execute quickly and gain fast learning, since we wanted to create proof of concepts during our pilot year and really take advantage of that year of test and learn. So we started with these engagement-focused, out-of-the-box apps, such as, we have scratch-off incentive, weather forecasting modules, and live polling. And they definitely drove a lift in engagement. I mean, look at that increase in click-through rate compared to our baseline. Very strong impact there, but we definitely weren't seeing enough movement in lower funnel metrics. So based on those results, we decided that these out-of-the-box engagement-focused apps will be used to elevate campaigns, but we knew that we weren't really using Movable Inc. to its fullest potential.
Yeah, I love that. And as a marketer, engagement is great, especially on the email side, but leadership wants to see numbers, and they want to see that their contract is adding value and working for the team. So what was the aha use case moment for the team?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that our turning point was when we had our strategic alignment session, and I would say that's the moment where things kind of clicked for us. And during that session, the Movable Inc. team presented to us a very tailored strategy deck on our existing programs and gave awesome recommendations based on the features that would actually improve what we do at Instacart. So that was a turning moment for us. And after that session, we kind of took things back internally and then created an internal testing roadmap, which aligned with the goals that we had as a team.
I love that, and I'm gonna kind of show some of those big changes there. So I love that, we got to kick off a lot of these, and big shout out to the strategy team, because I think they came in and kind of flipped your mind into what you could be doing. So can you actually just kind of talk a little bit more on these use cases here?
Yeah, so after, we had created that testing roadmap, this is the point where it led us to our aha moment. We realized that Movable Inc. was so impactful for us when we were creating more custom content focused on personalization and urgency for incentivized campaigns. So, this slide here, it has two of our top performing campaigns that we created with Movable Inc. And I love how these emails came out. We were able to digest, dynamic content, but still maintain our amazing brand guidelines and new assets that we had created during the rebrand. So I'll just talk a little bit more about these campaigns. That first campaign on the left here is a weekly circular email that basically showcase the user's personalized product recommendations based on their user activity and their order behavior. And we use Movable Inc. to power that dynamic discount badge that was layered over that product image. And what was so great about that dynamic discount badge was that it was reflecting whatever we had in app. So it was, updating in real time and showing the customer real-time prices there. So, looking at performance is definitely, it brought us a lift in click-through rate, but more importantly, it brought positive impact on resurrection. So that was definitely what we were aiming to do. And then just that email on the right here, this is a personal favorite for me. I love how this email came out. We send this to our Instacart Plus members, and we're in this email giving them their personalized gamified incentives. And we use Movable Inc. to create that dynamic progress tracker, which essentially checked through in real time as users completed their incentives. So it was a great way to keep users motivated to complete all of their incentives, and then also a great reminder of what's left as well. And then, in terms of performance here, this email drove around twice the lift in click-through rate and conversion compared to our baseline. So wins all around here, and it was honestly amazing seeing these campaigns come to life.
Yes, and just to add to that, from a CX side, this is the dream app to work on, because it's branded to Instacart, so that's one of the key things with Movable Inc. And it gamifies and incentivizes the customer to want to click through and redeem, and it just makes it a lot of fun. So just to see this come full circle and then to have the results that it did was a huge win on both sides. So let's keep talking about big wins. In last year, Instacart won Movable Inc.'s Data Daredevil Award, which is given to a brand with an outstanding use of data that really drives value to not only their business, but their customers. And so that campaign that won last year was your year in review. And this campaign relied heavily on Movable Inc. And when I say heavily, I mean we powered every single block in this email. For on the client side, that can be very intimidating, and you're kind of just putting all eggs in one basket. But the partnership paid off, and we worked together, and it won awards. So can you share a little bit more about that campaign and how you got off the ground?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this conference we've chatted a lot about year-end reviews, but I am so proud of the one that we created last year. To give a bit of context, this was actually Instacart's first ever personalized year-end review campaign. We've really wanted to do something like this for so long, since we know that people love this type of hyper-personalized content, and they're honestly great for reinforcing customer loyalty because you're visually showing them and reminding them how much they actually use and love your product. So, back in 2022, we launched both on the customer and the shopper side, and this led us to create around 5 different versions of this email. And essentially on the customer side, we were highlighting personalized purchase behavior and savings with Instacart. And then on the shopper side, we were showing their shopper journey throughout the year. After we had launched this email, we got tons of positive feedback, both internally and externally. We had such a huge lift in engagement, specifically open rate and click-through rate. But I think what was so great is that we got such a great response from social media platforms. We actually added a few Reddit screenshots here from shoppers where they were kind of showing an emotional response to everything that they've accomplished with Instacart, and that's exactly what we were trying to do, trigger that emotional response and improve and boost the way people are thinking about Instacart.
I love that, and Kelly's very humble, and she's not going to mention that this whole project really launched in 2 months, which for a year in review campaign and 5 variations is stressful. So I am kind of curious, and I'm sure marketers in the room are going to deal with this, in a couple months as everyone starts to prep. How do you keep a project like this on track with Movable Inc. from ideation to execution?
Yeah, great question. I mean, my answer, I'm not going to lie, is pretty generic, but I would say the key to our success on staying on track in such a short timeline was taking the time to create a very detailed project tracker with set milestones in place, since we're working with so many cross-functional partners to bring something like this to life. For instance, we were working with the creative team, which includes designing copy to conceptualize and create the email, and then also working with our engineering partners to basically have the data available for us to power these stats.
I love that. And you, I'm not going to lie, coming from the client side, you kind of triggered me when you said data engineer, because we all know that Movable Inc. is, the really great use cases are all data activated. So you do have to team up with your engineers and kind of get their buy-in and get them to want to push this project to the top of their list. And again, knowing that this was a really quick launch, any tips for any marketers in the room that might be struggling with that?
Oh yeah, take that time to create a very detailed PRD. I think that was so important for us to, write a PRD that clearly defined what types of data attributes we needed, and kind of painting the picture for engineering as to what that data will be used to generate what type of content. And then more importantly, also kind of showing business impact. So for this one, I basically forecasted the impacted click-through rate lift, and that definitely helped prioritize our engineers on this one.
Great, yeah, it's a lot of work to do that, but it paid off.
Oh yeah.
So looking ahead into next year, and we just renewed, so another new year partnership. What are some campaigns that we're going to be working on with Movable Inc.?
Yeah, I mean, for the rest of this year, we really want to continue to build those custom apps that I had showed earlier, and we really want to improve our lifecycle programs and making them more personalized and tailored for every type of user.
I love that. Well, before we wrap up, I just want to flip to the next slide, and Kelly, if you want to just highlight some of these tips before everyone in the room of kind of like with working in your CX team, like what are some things to focus on in your next status meeting?
Yeah, I mean, not gonna lie, your first year with the partnership can be challenging since obviously you're working with an entirely new platform and, you have to get buy-in from the rest of your team. But during our first year at Instacart, our first year of partnership with Instacart, like these were the 3 main tips and tricks that I would definitely advise to use. So the first one is utilize strategic alignment sessions. I think, remembering to collaborate with your client experience manager is so important. In fact, I feel like I very much leaned on Jess as like a thought partner and bounced ideas off of her constantly. And that was really important for us to unlock what we want to do with Movable Inc. and how that ties back to Instacart. So utilize the Movable Inc. team. And then secondly, don't forget to communicate your wins. I think this is the way you have to, share out learnings, and anytime you unlock new capabilities, it's so important to share it out with the rest of your team so that they can also be excited and, also start testing as well. And then lastly, spend the time to create a very robust testing roadmap. I think this is so important to, keep you and your team on track and organized. Things may change throughout the year and the half, but having this list of tests that you want to complete throughout each milestone will definitely help you stay on track.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think the testing roadmap was really key. As you saw with the engagement-focused apps that we started in the beginning, we were able to kind of collaborate and change the testing roadmap. But if Kelly and the team hadn't been like keeping up with the metrics and seeing what's working, we would have taken probably longer to get to the more custom apps. So just really wanted to highlight that here and just add that your CX team can really help you with that. But Kelly, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to share. And I will say that first year can be the toughest. Like she said, building relationships, testing, getting strategy together can take some time. But I hope that this inspired you and you'll take some tips. And Kelly and I will be around after stage if you have any questions. So enjoy lunch. And sorry we had to talk about food right before you eat, but works. Thank you.